Greetings, guys and gals. Join me here at Success Over Stress, where the goal is to strengthen strategies that will defeat doubt, cure complacency, and strangle stress. I'm on the road to a healthier, happier, and stress-controlled life by taking control of my financial situation. With the right direction, so can you. All right. I'm back. This is January the 10th, 2022. Who knew we'd be blue? You know what I do. I'm coming through and I got a new podcast for you. Yeah. So 2022, we made it through 2021, COVID and all. Yeah, we made it. But what are we going to do now? That's the question, right? So we're here, 2022. I'm going to talk about New Year's resolutions today. You may have one, you may not. You may believe in it. You may not. I'm not here to tell you what's right or what's wrong. I'm just going to talk about New Year's resolutions. And I say, is it worth it? I mean, what's the point? So here's a quote from J. Allen Shaw. And I quote, "Don't make resolutions without an action plan. The secret to success is right in your hands." End quote. Yeah, so really, don't make solutions without an action plan. Pretty much that's all I'm going to talk about today. So the definition of resolution defined by Macmillan, the dictionary folks, they say that resolution is the act of being determined. Now, that's a very simple or simplistic way of defining resolution. There's some other more complicated definitions of it by the Merriam-Webster's, by their perspective on it. But so just to keep it simple, the act of being determined. So that's resolution. So why make... Come with me. Why make a resolution if you're not truly determined? Now, if you're in the fad of it all, if you're in social media and you just want to put up a post and you say, my New Year's resolution is to lose 50 pounds and I want to get into the newest beach body I never had, then, okay, well, just say that, that interests you, right? But don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself, folks. I mean, if it's truly a resolution, if you're truly determined, then, and I mean, yeah, put it out to the universe, have folks hold you accountable. And pray tell, have the right folks hold you accountable. Like, don't just be telling everybody your resolution like people really care about whether or not you make it or not. You know what I mean? So have the folks who matter. Have the folks who can make a difference in your life, your circle of friends. Let me put it this way. Your circle of friends, your circle of influence, those folks, do they know what your New Year's resolution is? Do they know what your resolution is? Do they know what you're working on? Are they holding you accountable? I mean, your folks in your circle, which gives me, now I have a few circles. I think that was one of the podcasts here recently was the different circles that we have: networking circles, social circles, family circles. But I do have a circle of folks who really keep me grounded in the way of real estate. I've been working a lot in the last year or so with stocks, and I don't have a circle that keeps me grounded there. And I know that's something that I need to put into effect for 2022. So maybe I'll make that resolution. Maybe I'll tell the world, or maybe I'll just tell you guys. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say is have the folks that can hold you accountable know what your resolutions are, know what your goals are. Because those are the only ones who, at the end of the day, if you say, hey, I didn't make it, or hey, I made it halfway, they're going to say, hey, man, keep going. I believe in you. Keep going. And those are the folks Those are the folks' perspectives that you're actually going to care about. Now, if you put up a post and somebody says, man, you know what, forget you, man. You're just going to say, oh, you know, whatever. And you're going to go back to doing whatever you were doing prior to that. So make sure, if you are really determined, that the folks who can hold you accountable are a part of your accountability team. Okay, so I think resolutions are great at taking your mind off the current level of commitment that you've already put forth. 2021, I want to do better at reading. I read 1 book. 2022, I'm going to read 20 books. Yeah, well, you know what? You're probably going to do what you did last year, unless there's something that pushes the envelope, and unless there's something that pushes you forward. Like I said, whether it's accountability, whether it's motivation, whether there's a realistic goal, there's got to be something tangible that makes this year different from last year, and not words, guys, not just words. Okay, so definitely want you to pull the trigger on making big goals, right? Shooting for the stars. 2022, I want to be an astronaut. I love the stars, but I want to be an astronaut. Yeah, well, do you know how much schooling it takes to be an astronaut? Do you know how many physics courses it takes to be an astronaut? Do you even understand the concepts of matter? And once again, you can learn all that stuff, but I'm just saying, let's work with stuff that may be tangible, may be realistic, maybe making some of those goals, what do they call it? Like a SMART goal? SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-oriented. SMART, S-M-A-R-T. Make it a SMART goal. And like I said, don't feel like you can't shoot for the stars. But what I'm saying is, have a way to get there, right? Have some stepping stones, have some, what's the word? I mean, you literally got to be able to go from one position of progress to the next position of progress to the next position of progress before you hit the start. It's not just a one-shot deal. I mean, we're not teleporters. If we were teleporters, we teleport our way to the top, and then we wouldn't need to set New Year's resolutions. You see what I'm saying? So if we were teleporters, if we had a magic ball, then, you know, those of us that could do that wouldn't have New Year's resolutions. So if you're setting New Year's resolutions, chances are you don't have a magic ball and you don't have a teleportation device. So work with me here. Let's set some goals that are achievable, and maybe we can formulate a clear path to get there. And now the proof is in the pudding. The clear path to get there is going to be defined by the way in which you lay it out. Okay, you're not going to make Kool-Aid without first some water. You're not going to sweeten it up without adding a little bit of sweetener, and I call it sugar. It's just that cane sugar. I don't do stevia. I don't do brown sugar in my Kool-Aid. I don't do none of that. Just regular white sugar, cane sugar, granulated. Love it. Tastes so good to me, and I love sugar. Yes, I do. Okay. But so what's the next step? You got water, you got sugar. You need to have that flavor. You got to have that flavors. Okay. When you get that flavors, whether or not it's cherry, grape, or tropical punch. I always like that tropical punch. But you got to have the flavor. So what I'm saying is there's components to making the Kool-Aid. Now, you don't just all of a sudden say, I wish for Kool-Aid. Well, if you go and pick it up at the store, maybe. But still, if you go pick it up at the store, there's components. You got to drive to the store. You got to have money. You got to go in the store. So all I'm saying is, when you set these New Year's resolutions, make sure that you have methods, that you have a task list to get the goal done. Get it done, baby. That's all I'm saying. Get the goal done. But you got to have a task list. So, last thing I'll say, we talked about it before, we're shooting for the stars, the sky's the limit. Yeah, well, you know what? So is that tree. That tree is the limit too. If you don't watch out, that tree is the limit. Below that, your roof. If you're in the house, your roof, the top of your house, the roof is the limit too. And as long as you're in the house, let's just say that the room that you're in, that ceiling is the limit too. Yeah. So we actually have a lot of limits. So the sky is not just the only limit. So by taking actionable steps, you can make sure that you break each one of those limits along the way and then go to the sky. That's all we want you to do, baby. Go to the sky. So, one analogy for you. Setting a resolution is the same as ordering a pizza. You'll never get it if you never come through the door. You know what I'm saying? So you can order the pizza, but if you never come through the door, if you never show up, you never get the pizza. You got to show up to the party. Don't just set the resolution and then just think it's going to happen to you. You want it to happen in spite of you. I mean, you want to push so hard that it's going to happen regardless. But how many of you actually put forth the effort to make your resolution happen? How many of you ever really put forth the effort to make sure that your resolution is something that is in sync with you and your being? Come on now. I got one fact for you this time. I try to do 3. I've only got one, and this one is probably outdated. It's from a 2015 U.S. News and World Report article. And it talks about 80% of folks reported failing their New Year resolution by February of that same year. Come on now. Less than a month, maybe 2 tops. You already failed on your resolutions. I mean, but like I said, that makes sense because people aren't really making resolutions because they believe they want to achieve. They're making resolutions because it feels good. Because it feels good saying, hey, I'm something better. I'm going to be something bigger than I was the year before. Yeah, well, you know what? To me, words ain't nothing but words. And those are all the words I have for you today, baby bubba. All right. This is Eric. I'm out. Peace.